Well, good evening all. It's June meeting of Buckland Brewer Parish Council. My name's George Haywood. I'm acting chairman tonight. The chairman is away, so gives his apologies. So apologies for absence would be Catherine Can, Richard Hooper. Any declarations of interest? Right. Minutes of the last meeting of the Parish Council held on the 25th of May, where there was appears to be two lots of minutes. One was the open annual parish meeting. We'll start with that one first. That was the first one. Then we went on to a Parish Council meeting after that. If you all read through, looked at it, briefed at it, does it look, anyone got any queries or?
What happened to the refreshments? That was what I'd been asked. They were advertised.
Sorry? Yeah.
I must be getting deaf then. I'm getting deaf.
So, for the annual parish meeting, you agree that I sign this minutes as a true record?
Do we need to propose and second?
Proposer?
I'll propose it if that's what we need to do.
Seconder? Yeah. Thank you, Hen. Right. Do you want me to sign these minutes here, Joe, or are you going to? Yep. And then the second half of the meeting was the Parish Council meeting of the monthly one. If you look through the minutes of that, any issues that wasn't there or is there, or?
Yeah. There's no mention of the minute silence that we done for our unfortunate friends in the parish.
No, there's not. Well picked up, Trevor. How do we go about that, and Joe? Do we do another lot of minutes out, or? You can put that in. Any other thing omitted or not done?
No, there's one other thing I picked up. I just wondered if David was really happy with the wording. David Watson has been collecting money.
Yeah. Well, personally, but it's we've been getting grants from here, from the Parish Council. Has given us some money, and Bridge Trust has given us some money towards all that, and also money that we've raised otherwise over the last few years.
Is it anything to do with the church then, or is it the Methodist Church that does it, or? It's held because it's going to be held somewhere. Yeah. Okay.
So
it's in a separate account. That is nothing to do with, so it's not being used for anything to do with kind of the chapel.
So you would, forgive me, regard it as a secular project, if you like. It's in a separate account, but it's not church related. It's secular rather than.
Well, we're somebody's got to keep hold of it, and it's got to be held somewhere.
So is it? What we're saying is it's chapel driven.
Well, how it looks there as David Watson.
Yes.
It's not.
I was just thinking we need to safeguard David. Say something goes wrong, and they say, "Oh, David Watson, he was handling the money and stuff."
No, I don't know the money.
No, it's not personal. It's not personal.
No, so there is a kind of, we will create a kind of committee at some stage, so yet another committee.
Sorry, can you enlarge on I'm lost a bit, so can you enlarge a bit?
Well, if we go back to the start, when the Methodist Circuit employed a detached youth worker, they did work here and in Parkham and in Tarleton School. That project finished, but the worker carried on working here in Buckland, and that went on for 14 years. And they did a lot of work with the young people of Buckland. Because if you remember when it started, there was a bit of antisocial behaviour, which kind of went away after the work started. And so when it stopped, my view is that we should look and see if we could get something else up and running. And, but of course, it didn't happen just like that. So over the last few years, money has been put into the account from various places. We used some of the money to kind of set up the toddler group, to buy things for the toddler group, okay? And then it's there. I will let you know how much it is in it, because it gets audited as well when our money gets audited. But it's in a completely separate account, okay?
So it was mentioned that the parish council gave money to the but we as a public parish council aren't allowed to give money to religious, so it's nothing to do with the religious side of it.
No. It's just to do with the young people, okay?
Was that lemon jelly? Was that what was lemon jelly once upon a time? Yeah.
So those accounts will be open to the public when it's audited?
I can send you a copy. I usually do.
Yeah.
I think I have them at the moment. But when they're audited in August, you'll have a copy of that.
Okay.
But it's not, it's not going to anything to do with here. Okay, it's not. It's
so
just
nothing to do with
it's been, we've been trying to kind of organise it. That's all. But if anybody else wants to organise it, that's fine with me.
Right on. Yeah.
I'll have a day off. It's all right with me.
Yeah. Right. Any other questions on the minutes of the actual parish council meeting? So you're all happy that I signed this as a true record of the parish council meeting? Right, Joe? Right. Right, item 10, declarations of interest. Any declarations of interest? No. Public participation. Any public participation? Yes, sir. Could you just say your name?
If you go over to that one, I'll switch them on. I'm quite happy to talk a bit loud. Yeah, but it won't be on to the system.
Good evening, Clive Stone. At a previous meeting recently, I mentioned the state of some of the roads in the parish, and that an email had been sent to Highways, and I think you were copied in as well as the clerk was. I've had a response to this email, and due to the classification of the roads, we can expect no further work being carried out to roads that are considered of low use, and they will continue to deteriorate. Since then, one of the surface deteriorations has become a pothole. We had a visitor from Heartland recently who described our roads in the parish outside the main roads as being dreadful compared to what there is in the Heartland parish. Could I ask that this be taken up with Highways, that some money is spent on surface?
Yes, Councillor.
You need to direct this to Devon County Council, not Torres District Council.
Oh, yes, it's definitely Devon.
Because
Yes.
they are highways, and having had the recent elections, I talked more about highways, which is not a Torres issue, than anything else, because I've been out the back of Thornowhead, and I'm ashamed to see the road from Thornowhead out to the Oswey 388. I mean, it's absolutely diabolical out there.
It really is.
So I have...
Thank you.
will take note, but it's not within my power, Mr. Stone.
I appreciate that, but if anything can be done, can I ask which councillor is now taking responsibility for highways, please?
James Morris is our county councillor.
Yeah.
Which
Could I just interrupt?
Yes,
because
please.
I've already been in correspondence with Highways, and that was the email that I circulated to the council. And there is going to be a review of local roads over the summer. So I don't know how extensive it's going to be, but we are going to be sent a report at the end of that, so we will have an idea as to what will be covered in that.
Thank you.
In the maintenance.
Anything would be an improvement.
Yeah, but it's not imminent. It will be a few months' time.
Oh yes, yeah. Sorry, which
Shall I?
parish
Sorry.
count? You're the.
No, just to say that I was over near Twitcham last week, and there were some potholes there, and it was reported to me about the potholes. So I actually went online, and I was actually surprised at how many potholes are not being reported by members of the public, actually.
Yes.
And I reported the one at Catsburg Cross as well, and I see now that road is actually going to be closed, but that wasn't even reported online when I went on there. So we need to get people to just keep going on,
Yes.
keep complaining,
Yes.
get as many people as we possibly can. I mean, I can put something on the community page if you would like me to, because we just need people just to keep reporting.
I think that was the message last week, wasn't it, from
Yeah.
James? He did say, look,
Yes.
you've
Good,
got to
we've
keep
got-
going on and on and on.
I've had it from a highways representative that the more people report more potholes, the more attention will be paid to them.
We as a parish council will, through the clerk, keep on sending complaints
you.
and names, but by law they legally have to. They can't just say there will be nothing done, because by law, if a pothole is so big, they legally have to do something
Yeah,
about it.
these aren't potholes so much; they're surface
I know it is,
deterioration is
but-
getting worse and worse.
I quite agree, but legally they have to deal with potholes. So if we keep complaining as a parish council and individuals, we will do it through the clerk to Councillor Pennington, who, Devon Highways?
Councillor Morris,
Devon Highways.
Devon County's representative,
And
Devon Highways.
Devon Highways.
Yes, right.
What man
Two
is...
guys who cover North Devon is
Sorry?
Michael Newcomb
Michael Newcomb.
and Matt. Can't remember his second name now. Come to me later on, I'll give it to you when I use my senior moment, okay?
Yes. Only sometimes you get more happening if you can actually send something personally to someone who makes some decisions about it rather than just generally. So,
Matt Collins.
Matt,
Collins.
you got those names, Joe?
I was corresponding with Kieran Stanbury.
As well.
Okay, fine.
But if we can send those
Yeah.
to...
Kieran Stanbury for the roads, and Michael Newcomb for the passing places.
Yeah. But also for deterioration of roads and potholes, as Councillor Pennington has said, the two men to also contact specifically, personally, is Michael Newcomb and Matt Collins. Just doing it straight to them sometimes gets more action, because they are named and they have to be then supposedly to see some action happening. So if we can do that.
Thank you. Which of you parish councillors have highways as your...
We haven't actually designated
You
an
haven't,
officer
right, okay.
to look at the highways. We will discuss that and what we do about it.
Thank you.
Okay, it will be brought up the agenda next time.
Right. There was a comment raised by a member of the audience at one of these meetings about an improvement to Orley Hill. Was it yourself or somebody else mentioned it? Well, whoever it was mentioned it. If the parish council would like to consider pursuing that, because Devon County Council have just had a big grant for specifically for improvements, not potholes, improvements.
Yeah, we are actively looking into that.
Excellent. Thank you.
At the moment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. I can't say no more, but we are actively looking.
Wouldn't ask you to. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public participation? Thank you. Clerk's report.
Right then, there's only a couple of things. We've mentioned about the roads. I have been in correspondence, also in correspondence with Devon over the potential passing places on Orley Hill. We haven't got a timescale for that, but they will be liaising and doing a survey at some point, and we'll know timescale for those works to be carried out, all being well. The only thing which is sort of pressing on here is I received an update from Barclays Bank and they rejected the mandate change request. Some of it was due to misunderstandings about who was still on the council. I've resolved all of that, but they are still adamant that they want a completely different type of form to be completed. It's not on their website or anything like that, so they are going to send it to me. And as soon as I've got that, we basically starting from scratch. It does mean that there's a 4 to 6 week lead-in time to get the mandate changed. So we do have an issue with being able to make payments. So I'm trying to see if there is a way around any of this and getting anybody onto the mandate quicker than that. So I'll need to update you at the next meeting or in between if anything happens.
Will there be any outstanding payments that haven't?
I've got some, yeah.
You have some?
Yeah.
So how do we propose to get around that? And
Well, that's the issue we've got at the moment. So I'm making some inquiries. I might have a proposal tomorrow, but I'll need to come back to the council about that because this is just this morning that I got the letter from Barclays.
So in other words, until all the mandates stand, even you can't sign off a cheque.
Well, I'm not supposed to sign any cheques,
Right.
Because I'm supposed to be completely independent
Yes.
of any payments.
So is there anyone on the committee,
The only person who can sign at the moment is Trevor.
Trevor, and does it need to be countersigned as well by another person?
2, minimum of 2.
And we haven't got that one. Blimey, Trevor.
So, I mean, what...
So the outstanding accounts, would that be to people that we've owed money for over a month? Or is that
No, not
current
over,
ones?
no.
Is it serious? In fact, it is serious, but is it?
I think that if it goes on beyond a week or 2, it's not ideal.
So how do we propose?
Well,
to get,
what I've made inquiries about, and I don't know if this is permissible, is that I have a dispensation, assuming that the councillors are happy with that, to temporarily countersign cheques, but there will need to be a proper oversight by 2 councillors so that everything is done and we've got everything completely sort of battened down so that there are full records and full transparency. And it would just be a temporary measure to get us over this issue.
Right. So that means that Trevor would be signing it and then your signature would be there as well?
On the cheque.
On the cheque.
But then 2 councillors would also sign paperwork and they would have sight of the cheques being signed and the invoices.
Is that because they recognise your signature, Joe?
Well, I'm on the mandate because I've got to be on the mandate from an admin perspective, but I don't physically sign cheques.
No.
But I'm on the mandate to be, so in theory I can, I just don't.
Trevor, did you?
I was going to say that the chairman could oversee it, couldn't he? Or the vice chairman, whichever.
Oh, yeah, as long as there are 2 other councillors that will oversee, or 1 other councillor I should say, that would oversee it, then...
So when, can that be sort of signed off tonight then, or are you going to get permission?
Well, no, because I'm trying to find out whether it's permissible. I'm not sure if it's permissible
Right.
at the moment.
So will you be able to do that in the next 2 or 3 days, a week, or what?
Next 2 or 3 days, definitely.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the
I hope
chairman
I'll
will
have
be-
an answer back tomorrow.
Yeah. The chairman will be back end of the week, I believe, whatever. But anyway, I'm available, or anybody else can.
That is a shame, Joe, because you went to great lengths to
I
try
know.
and prevent
Yes.
that happening.
Yeah.
I know.
Been going on for months.
It has, isn't it?
It's,
Yeah.
you know.
And just to cap it all, we did have a response back about a complaint that was opened in January, and that letter came back saying the complaint was upheld, they shouldn't have bounced any cheques, and they acknowledged that everything was signed in accordance with the mandate. They've paid £30 compensation and they've put it into the wrong account. So they're not exactly covering themselves with glory at the moment. So
do you have to actually go to an office in it? I believe there's Barclays Bank in Bideford, isn't it? Is there? So do you actually do it over the telephone, web, or
well, if that arrangement is permissible, I mean, the council will have to agree to it. So it would need to be properly ratified at the next meeting. You know, we can implement it straight away.
Yes, if we can. Yeah.
And then we don't need to do anything in conjunction with Barclays, because that would all be within our control.
Okay.
If that's if it is that urgent, it sounds that urgent, would you want to ratify that emergency meeting? Because it doesn't need all of us to be for it, does it? If we're all in an agreement now, would you want to do that?
Well, I suppose does anybody have any objections to that?
No.
In theory, I mean,
No.
it just seems the most practical solution.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay.
There could be one problem, because I got a building to be made out to me.
You got a building. You got an
know,
interest, Trevor.
Well, that was the tarmac for the.
Yeah.
There's a mix-up with Timor Trade, and then I've got another form here.
Yeah, but I shall be in the same boat, because I mean it affects payroll as well. So, which is why we need to have a proper process with other people with oversight, so that it doesn't look.
So will you be able to push things forward?
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Any other comments on that situation? Right, Joe. Sorry, carry on. Correspondence. No. Any updates on anything?
No, nothing that I haven't already shared.
Right. Well, on my agenda here is allotment water supply, current status and confirmation of future action required. Well, as I understand it, the water supply is left on all the time up there now. There is a slight leak. It is Richard Hooper, the chairman, has ascertained is probably behind the water trough, and on the joint down there we've got to go and have a look at it, sort it out, and the grass is cut now so we can get in there and have a look at it. So anybody got any comments? What we get on with it, sort it?
Well, I've got a comment to make, because if I hadn't got people going behind my back on the council, it would have been done 2 days earlier anyway.
2 days earlier from what?
When we turned it on, because I'd already spoken to Jim to deal with it on the Thursday, or unlock the gate. And then I find out somebody else has rung in and been talking to, and somebody else, and that's fine, I finished with it.
So you finish with it?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
I don't know the ins and outs of it, whatever, but anyway.
And
so
while I'm on that, I've got 2 rubbish bins in my yard and a gate.
From where?
Well, don't ask me why, because it should be all in the minutes, but they'll be put there, somebody can come and pick them up and take it away, or else they could get damaged or whatever. I'm no longer going to be responsible for these things.
So what things,
from today onwards.
So what things, you've got, what size gate?
I've got 2 litter bins there sitting in my yard.
Yeah.
Which was to go down in the playing field.
Go down the playing field.
Or,
Are these new ones, old ones?
The amenity
field.
Sorry. Yeah. And there's
And these are new ones, old ones?
New ones, brand new. They've already paid for by the council.
The parish council pay for them?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this go to the amenity fields, is that right?
Yeah.
Right.
And also, what the other thing was now?
One, the gate.
Oh, the gate for the footpath.
Where?
Before it was to go on the end of the footpath. That's why I was querying with Richard about the footpath, and I'm still no further forward. So
which gate?
There's a gate there which the council's paid for. So
yeah, no. Where was this gate
this
for?
Gate was to go on the bottom end where it comes out into the lane.
Of where? Sorry.
What do you call it? Not crossbar. Pathfield.
Right.
Yeah.
So that one was purchased by the parish council, or given by the footpath officers.
Purchased by the parish council.
And it's just a gate, latch work and everything with it, or not?
Well, there's a self-closing gate. It's 1 metre wide.
So he's got hanging, he got a fallen post, iron post and fallen post. Got hang.
It's a frame. So
It's a frame. So is it completely? You just plonking in the ground. So
fill the holes up.
right. So therefore, that one then could go for an easy.
It was to go on the end when the path is opened and going up and down.
Going up and down. Right.
Yeah.
So that one then, if that gate, it was a self-latching gate that he dealt with and put there. So this gate then could go for an easier operation for the public at another end of the footpath somewhere else, yes? Or you don't mind?
The council can do what they like.
Then do what they like with it, fine.
But,
so...
there will be a few people who won't be too happy if they... Yeah.
Too happy about what?
Well, I've had enough.
Sorry, few people will be too happy, you said won't be too happy,
Well,
so...
I don't know, probably not.
Yeah, about what?
Well, the footpath, you know.
Yeah, which footpath? There's lots of
So
footpaths.
that
That one down there?
That one footpath across Pathfield, or up beside Pathfield.
Yeah,
All the way up into your field.
yeah, that one there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So if that current gate there, which Richard says he's got the spring on, is done, is working, then we, as a parish council own it, we can put that on another difficult gate, which is difficult or whatever, like going in the bottom of halfway up Tower Hill. That is just a style, so he could be put there then, yes?
They can put them where they like.
Right, that's fine.
Because if Richard passed, the chairman had talked to me, I would have told him what the council had done, and it was already in the minutes about this, so it's all right.
Fine, well, I can't answer for anybody else who's not here,
I know.
okay?
Yeah.
So now you want someone from the parish council to get out of your yard like PDQ, yes?
Yeah, yeah.
And can someone just, do they ring you, make an appointment?
They'll ring when they're coming to take it away, and I'll make sure it's available.
Fine. And like you and I are on the elderly side, can one of us, do I need two with me, or do you think I can chuck the thing around?
It's plenty
Heavy enough.
enough for one.
Will it fit in the back of a Land Rover?
Well, he's 4 foot wide, you know, and
So he should fit in the back of a Land
well,
Rover.
well, yours is a pickup.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
that's
that
what I mean,
sort of
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
he'd
fine.
slide in there.
So I don't need it, so if I could come, so with your permission,
And then there's two,
what size bins are these?
like a 50-gallon drum.
So I could pick up, the Land Rover, I could pick up as well.
Same time.
Brilliant. So is there lids with these bins, so I don't leave nothing behind?
Yeah, they're still in their polythene bag,
Right.
and
And are they in your yard? I'll bang on your door and say good morning and...
well, if you ring and
Yep.
say when you're
Proper
coming,
job. Thank you, Trev, that's fine.
They'll be there
Yep.
in the yard and see them then.
That's fine, I'll give you a ring. I'll give you a ring and then pick it up, all right? That's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Is there anything else further to the water supply at the allotments?
There's a Steve Sherry
Go on.
action linked to that, but I imagine that will come out in another agenda item that's
Yes.
to be talked about in
Yes,
the future.
I just want to make sure the allotment holders and this water supply, this hot weather drought type effort is going okay. It's fine, it's fine. So the sooner we can stop that little leak, then it's only according to, he looked at Richard, chairman, has stopped one end, stopped it off, switched it on, and he's only just going around very, very slowly, so there is only a drip leak.
I would suggest that there's probably an air pocket somewhere that goes in
Yeah.
that. And
What, rather than a
it
leak?
takes a bit of time to
Deal with that.
deal with it. Yeah.
Can you remember, I believe you and Councillor who at the time put the pipe in, can you remember when you turn right into the hedge where the trough is that a bend, could it have kinked there, or was there an elbow put there?
How about you'd ask me that?
Never mind, I know what it's like. And where it goes up into in the allotments and turns from underground and going above, is there a bend or an elbow there?
There's a T there where the trough is,
When in the allotment field, in the hedge,
in the hedge.
where the drinker
He comes
is,
up-
yeah.
He comes up for the
drinker. There's a
trough
T there,
goes
yes.
Straight on.
Yeah.
Up through the
And where it goes into the allotments and where it comes into the allotments to the tap, where it comes out of the ground, is there an elbow or just a bend there? I'm just thinking sometimes it kinks.
I think that one he's still in the ducting, as you will see. He
Yeah.
comes up, the ducting comes up
Okay.
above ground.
Yep.
And the pipe comes out there.
Right, okay. I'd like to find out from the parish council if they will sanction it. If we need to get a small digger in to dig it up, the parish council, will they supply the money? We get someone else? Because I can't swing a shovel like I used to. So, are you all in favour that we just get on with it, get it sorted, job done and finished? Yes?
Well, we don't really have much alternative.
No, that's
to
fine.
unless we want to waste
So
more
we've got
time.
yeah. So we can we have a vote on that? We can, if we got to spend money on it to do it, to get the diggers in or whatever, hopefully we haven't. It's okay. In favour? Sorry?
Are we going to get 3 quotes for this?
No, well, do you want us, it's all taking up time, this, Joe, if we're taking 3.
Given the amount that we're talking about, it's probably not worth
Not
doing that, no.
Okay,
I think, expediency is probably more important for the
sorry?
£1,500.
Well, it depends if the digger's there for an hour, half an hour, if we need a digger or whatever. We just got to get and have a look at it. And then we don't want to wait until for another 28 days for parish council meeting to sanction a digger. I want to know if we can get there, have a look at it, make a decision and get on with it, so it's done.
Yeah, I agree, but if somebody comes along with a digger and says it's 500 quid,
I can quite assure you that we won't be paying 500 quid, anything that sort of money. We'll be
I've no idea how much it
fine.
costs to hire a mini digger.
Well, it's usually it just depends on the size digger. You talk about anything about 25, 35 pound an hour, 40 pound an hour. Just depends on the size digger and with local whatever. We got permission from the tenant to be able to do it. He's got no problem, and we just got to go. May have to dig through the hedge. I hope not. I don't think we will. We might have opened up a bit, but anyway, whatever got to be done, whatever got to be done.
Is there a problem with the trough then? The trough?
No, there was the tap on the float. There was a directive, a bit of pipe that was turned out around and drop in the water outside the trough and in the trough half and half. So he was not put in correctly or got knocked to do it.
Just like a ball valve in
Yeah.
your toilet flush.
Yeah.
You've got there.
Well, no, there is another.
bit
It's
on
not.
top.
Yeah, it's not quite like that. There was a piece on there that it comes after the ball valve comes up and directs the water, and it was just got knocked, putting the lid down, whatever. So these things
it's
happen.
all right.
It's all right now, but it's still got a bit of a leak. So, but we're not oozing water. But in this drought situation and shortage of water and southwest water losing water left, right, and centre, the water problem can be whatever. Anyway, any further interest on it? Yes.
Sorry, can I just get this right? We would hire a digger from a...
If we need to, yes.
If we need to.
Yeah.
Who drives the digger?
The man who we hire it from.
Right, okay.
All right. It'll be Andy, a small one. It'll be whoever. All right. Okay. Right. Any further interest on that?
Do you want to propose that then?
So can I have a proposal that we get on with it and do it as been suggested? All in favour?
Yeah.
That's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anybody against?
I should declare an interest on that, I reckon. So.
Yes, true. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Right. Okay. Let's move on from that then. Anything before we get, looks like there's a short meeting tonight, before members' reports. Joe, anything else to be brought up on this agenda that's not included here now? No, thank you. Okay, we move on to members' reports then. David?
No, nothing. Just to say that the two youth workers are out wandering the streets of Buckland.
Sorry, the what?
The two youth workers are wandering the streets of Buckland looking for youngsters to chitter.
Do they come on certain days, certain...
Well, it's the first night they've been out, so we'll see if they find anybody.
And can you say what their names are, or where they go, or not?
Paul and Heidi.
Right. Trevor?
Yeah, the outside the community shop, we put in steel posts or slots with wooden posts, and they both disappeared.
Yes, they have,
And
haven't
the
they?
other day, well,
There's
there was a
Alphenson.
wire van or whatever it was parked over where the post would have been, and right up to the fence. You can't see the parish council notice board, and he's left there overnight.
You left there overnight?
Well, yeah, and he's there some days, because I come up to fetch my paper quite often now, and well, you've got to get in the car. You can't go. The steps is out of action as well now, so you've got to walk behind the vehicles, out in the road, get round the back to come up. That was the idea, to keep the driveway clear for deliveries and disabled people or mothers with pushchairs.
So what I'm saying, the disabled section is blocked.
Well, that's
They
right.
couldn't, no disabled person with a wheelchair could not use it.
No, it's getting from coming down past Babston,
Yeah.
the driveway, and if you turn right,
Yeah.
well, there's cars there, so you've got to go all the way out behind into the road.
Yeah.
Before you can get to that as well.
So what do you?
What we need is a couple of steel posts, a rough guide. I think screw fix to them. You can bolt them down or concrete them in, and I don't know, they're about 40 or 50 quid each. They was at the time. It wasn't an awful lot of money.
No.
And wood breaks off.
They do. Well,
That's what happened to the wooden post that somebody ran into.
Yeah, and then they above the ground and they itched their toe and whatnot.
So do you think?
I put a bollard on top of that one, that last one that broke, and then somebody nicked the bollard.
Oh, yeah.
So I would suggest perhaps we put them there in the first place. The council see into that and replace them.
Right. So where you said you knew where they were? Screwfix, did you say?
Well, yeah, or tool station, wherever all these are places. The easiest way you can go and pick it up.
Yeah. So did the parish council sanction this? So the parish council will pay for this then? We can't.
The slot's still there.
Well, yeah, but there's a wooden post in them which is jammed up,
If we,
it was an old post that went in, so it's
So
not easy.
if we could drill that out somewhere then, and put a metal bar in there.
That piece of land doesn't belong to anybody. It's not part of chapel.
I was going to say, is it our gift to give? Can we do that? Is that okay?
So we've already done it, haven't we?
Well,
We've done it in one.
Totally replacing that.
Yeah.
It's no man's land. I don't think it is.
Sorry? No one owns it.
No,
Okay.
it's just off the vicar's path.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Is it anything to do with the parish council though, or is it really to do with the shop?
Well, if it was anything to do with the shop, it would have been. It's not because the property that the parish, the shop own, is part of the chapel.
Yeah.
Okay, so we own it and then we lease it to them, but that bit has never been part of chapel.
So you lease this. So who's responsible then, technically, for the disabled entrance and the walkway in, for normal way, and for disabled people in? Who put the ramps up? Who does all that?
We did that.
The Methodist Foundation.
But that our bit ends up the gate, at the wall.
So at the time, who then paid for and put in these posts and the square boxes?
Parish council.
Well, Andrew done it years
Years
ago.
ago, yeah. Right, so we got two options. We drill out these bits and put a metal bar in, or we go down and spend money and down at Screwfix or somewhere for whatever. So any suggestions?
Well, on a practicality basis, can I just ask, whatever happens, who's going to do it? Because, you know, perhaps not in my skill set. I'm not saying I won't help, but it's not in my skill set.
When I went to the shop the other day, the what's it called? Pete was there repairing the steps.
Seward. No.
That red
Pete
van that's
Gaydon.
down with the bump.
Gaydon, isn't it?
Yeah.
He was doing the steps.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm going to bring this up to the parish council tonight. Would you be interested if replacing it or doing it? And he said yes.
So that's brilliant. So how can you ask him, can you contact him, or do you want the clerk to contact him, then arrange him to look at it and deal with it?
I don't see him very often.
So, do you know what he's, sorry.
All I was going to say is I sort of see him periodically. I don't mind mentioning it to him if somebody wants me to.
That'll be fine, but how do we get all of them
Can
quick?
I just interrupt a minute? 'Cause I think we probably need to understand who owns this, because if it's not the parish council, in theory it presumably is Devon County Council, because it's part of the road.
Good question. I don't know.
I'm still a little bit confused
Right.
where we're talking about. The bottom of the ramp at Peter,
Where they buy the bus shelter, it was there put there so people wouldn't get, so the entrance to the bus shelter wouldn't block.
That's right.
Right, so right at the bottom of the ramp. Well, I would have thought coming under Devon Highway.
Shall we get the clerk to write to them highways and see what they're doing?
Wasn't that part of the Vicar's Walk at some time, or am I getting that? That's a bit...
Well, it's...
Yeah, I mean, it's just very confusing, isn't it?
So did you say the parish council originally got all in and done it themselves?
Yeah.
So it's up to you, good councillors, what do you want to do? Do you try and go through Devon County Council, through the clerk? Do we...
Well, I think we need to find out who actually owns this piece of equipment.
Well, no, at the moment, nobody owns it.
Everything is owned by somebody.
No, it's not.
No,
No.
not always.
Like the lane down, for instance, down through from Northwood Lane. Doesn't belong, they got rights away over it, but it doesn't belong to anybody.
It doesn't, but isn't it, I agree with you there, but isn't there tarmac on that piece there? There is, so somebody's tarmacked it.
Yeah, I think we paid for it.
Where to? Sorry, you lost...
Outside the channel.
What the parish council has actually paid for that piece to be tarmacked.
Oh, I think so. Oh, I'm not sure. But
No, we didn't do that. Well,
no, I don't know. Somebody did, but it wasn't us.
wasn't us.
Personally, I think it should be cleared up with the Devon County Council.
Right,
first.
that's fine.
And secondly, if you're going to stick posts and something like that and somebody injures themselves or whatever,
Well, they're there already.
you're going to be liable.
They're there already.
It's more dangerous now.
Yeah, they're there already. They're there already.
Hence
So,
why I put a bollard on top of it.
yeah. So, if the parish council will get the clerk to write to either Devon County Council or Highways, whoever it is, and put it to them, there's a health and safety issue, and it's on their land. Can they put safety bollards as the disabled ramp is being obstructed, and we cannot use a disabled ramp. Joe, would that be feasible? Yeah. Right.
I haven't finished yet.
I know.
Sorry.
Don't you worry.
The community field, levelling that. Pierces haven't done anything, and we got a fight there in the field coming up in a couple of months' time, and you walk along and somebody's going to break an ankle because of the sinkage where they 12 months ago put the pipe up through the field.
So we get out of Pierce's?
I think Jim may have chased them, but
I'm happy to be Jim Mark II and contact Paul Knox and say, look, this is if that's what people want me to do, I'll phone him and ask.
They have actually done where they dug up for the manhole now.
Yeah.
And re-soiled it, but there's no turf or anything yet. Well, obviously, it's not a good time. But they haven't, it really wants a scattering of
topsoil
all the way down where the drain runs.
Yeah,
Can you, Jim Mark II?
I'm happy to make
Jim.
that call. I'll
Yep.
take an action.
Next one.
Go on.
Up Tower Hill.
Tower Hill. Yep.
More or less right opposite Jim and Jane's property, there's a stag sticking up out of the grass verge.
Is that from a pole or something?
He isn't doing anything.
No.
He comes out the ground, and I just thought, it's.
So that would
people
be.
who cut the grass got to go round this damn thing.
Yeah.
A Sweb or BT, whoever belongs, should be able to tell them to chop the thing off.
I suggest we get the clerk to write to Sweb and BT.
Yeah.
And.
Sorry, where is this?
Up Tower Hill.
Halfway up Tower Hill, on the right, going up on the right,
You
opposite.
can't miss it. He's a great big galvanised 3/4 inch bar, comes up out the ground.
What's the entrance?
18 inches.
He's halfway between two entrances, isn't he? Roughly?
Sorry?
He's halfway between two entrances.
Yeah.
So which entrance will be Richard's? Will be Richard's
Well, probably
private?
just about going into what do you call it? Capern
Is it going
Close,
into
is it?
Capern Close?
It's opposite side of the road to that.
Right opposite side of the road.
Oh,
That's,
right,
yeah.
okay.
And you've got the narrow grass strip and
Yes.
up through there, and he's sticking up into that one.
Yeah.
So you can tie your horse through there.
Oh yeah.
So hang on, Joe. Can you I would do both of them, Sweb and BT. Some one or two of them.
One more.
Go on, Trev.
I've had people asking me about the coronation event conclusions and the money. Perhaps that should be on the agenda for next time. And the Thorneled sign that we put.
Sorry, well, you just jumped from one another. We need what you're saying. We need clarification of coronation money.
Yeah.
So, who would that be? Which section are you asking for that from? Parish council or?
Well, the parish council paid for the mugs, I believe.
Right.
So,
you want to know?
Just to know what's happening with it.
What the parish council? You want to know what's happened? How much went out from the parish council just for the mugs or other things?
Well, anything really. Yeah, all of it. We should have we haven't had a conclusion meeting.
From the parish council?
Well, they initially arranged it, didn't they? Put it up and said, we want to do something. So I don't know who, but we need some information.
We've got the clerk saying.
So
We got
there was a group who got together to plan the day.
what group?
It wasn't parish council, it was a community event, and the committee was just consisted of lots of different groups. So the representatives from lots of different parish organisations. So the choir, the hall, WI, the school, and anybody who was interested in getting involved got involved. So the parish council sponsored the mugs. That's correct.
So we can say how much that's gone out of our funds to sponsor the mug.
And that's already been confirmed. Yeah.
That's already been confirmed.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure what report comes back to the parish council.
Well, originally the money come from the parish council, didn't it? And then it was passed. The committee said, well, we'll pass it on to the next event, and
That's Jubilee one.
yeah, and that's how it's been going on. So it's just public got a right to know.
The Jubilee Fund is nothing to do with the parish council.
Well, it is, actually, it is. That goes back 20 years, back to the Golden Jubilee. And that Jubilee Fund was set up with a contribution from the parish council on the understanding that there would always be a parish council member taking an interest and acting as a signatory to that account. And that is over 20 years old.
I think that's been completely changed then over the years. Well, the only reason I say that, Jane, is because there is a declaration that I came across when I was doing the accounts that specifically says the Jubilee Fund is nothing to do with the parish council.
And when was that declaration dated?
That was,
And who declared it?
I don't know, but it was,
It was said in the last, there was comment in the last audited accounts, because I think the auditor queried something relating to the mugs, and the Jubilee Fund was mentioned, and she came back and said, is the Jubilee Fund parish council funds? And the comment that went back was, no, it is completely independent of the parish council, because if it is parish council money, I have to cover it all in our accounts.
Yeah,
I don't have sight of it at all.
I understand that it falls between two stools, though, really. There are signatories, I'm aware, existing signatories, who still are of the view and of the belief, whether that is correct or not, and of the belief that there is a parish council. It's not a declared interest, but it was set up with parish council funds, and that the custodians of this account genuinely believe that always there should be a parish council interest. And it may well be that something, that declaration needs to be made clear to people, but at the moment it's a very grey area. I understand what you're saying, but I'm also aware that there is a strong feeling on the other side that there is a parish council interest in this account.
So where is this account then?
Signatories, I believe, are Alison Lobb, Barbara Babb, although I think she passed all the papers to Alison, who's now the treasurer. I think Teresa Haywood may be another party to it. Shirley Tilley, I believe, is still a signatory on it. So you can see the parish council influence in there.
So, I'm at a loss here. So tell me that. So there is an account somewhere with money in it. Is that correct? Is that what?
yeah, the Jubilee Fund, when the coronation was being planned, there was a fund of around about 400, 450, something like that. I can't remember the exact amount, but in that region. And there wasn't that much taken out of it, and there were some funds put back in, because at the moment the proceeds of the mugs have gone back into the Jubilee Fund for future use, because when it was raised at the parish council, a decision as to what would happen with that mug money was deferred, and so that money has gone back into the Jubilee Fund at the moment, so nobody's sitting on cash. So it is there, and it is there for a future community event.
Sorry, fine. So there is just this one account, and the Jubilee Fund and the Coronation Fund is all one account.
Yeah, the Jubilee Fund has just been going since 1977, basically.
Right.
And it's just used for any community event that happens to come
Fine.
up.
So who's got the signatories, or who's got control of this fund? And so we need to. Councillor Mills wants to know what's happening. Quite right. Because as I understand it, as parish council money, I understood sometime that parish council, back 20 years ago, parish council gave some money to start it up, and a group of people got together and did events to raise money, and they raised more money to set it up. They set it up.
Yeah, but that's correct, but I think you need to be careful about it, because we have not had any sight.
Sorry?
The parish council has had no sight of how that account's been operated. So,
but we gave it as a grant to those people.
Well, that was it. That was your contribution, really, a grant into that fund.
Fine. If we give a grant, we give a grant.
Yeah.
Then we're nothing to do with us.
No.
So, as it's nothing to do with us, do you wish to raise this, Trevor, and find out exactly as what you want, what is in the account, and who owns it, who raised it, or what?
The best way is when they announce their conclusion meeting of everybody will know whether Alison Holmes paid for the cake and all these things. Everybody doesn't know anything.
Fine, but...
So it's just
Sorry?
If it's a sign on the cake,
Yes.
I know there was a sign on the gate, but, you know, what did they get for it? The money, how much did Alison Holmes pay? And
But it's not through, it's not through the parish council.
Have they paid us yet for the fireworks?
So you've gone on.
No answer, eh?
So,
Right, let's have a proper meeting sometime soon and get it thrashed out.
or organised by the parish council.
Or the, like I said,
So we've got to ask
committee.
someone, you want to ask the committee, whoever the committee is, Coronation Committee?
Yeah, I was going to say, because I was on that committee, as was Joe, and
Well, I've got a councillor.
I don't think a lot of the committee would want to be hauled in to start.
I've got a councillor who's raised a point.
Yeah, I realise that, Chair, but what I'm trying to say is I'm a little bit confused what's being asked, and I'm trying to understand what's
Fine.
being asked.
Perhaps you would specifically say what you require, Councillor Mills.
In layman terms.
You've heard two people here. There is another, it's outside the parish council. I know we, 20 years ago, we gave a grant right at the start. Yeah. And those people in those days, they went and raised money with that grant for the coronation and the food they spent, whatever, and they kept it in an account and rolled it on. But there was nothing to do with the parish council. Now, you can have a vote here in a minute for the parish council to ask somebody to hear what's happened with everything, or we ask someone from that committee to do a presentation.
That sounds the best bet.
No, Chair, sorry, I'm a little bit concerned about what you mean by a presentation, as in...
I've got a councillor here wanting to know, allocate, money was raised.
Well, the money was already in the account.
Well, not all of it, because the parish council was asked.
But we gave it as a grant.
Well, yeah.
We gave it as a grant. There was nothing.
That's all right.
We gave it as a grant, so that's, and they did a successful job. So that's, then we did what we said. We gave them a grant, then it was up to other people to carry on with that. We decided to give a grant to help the situation, and then they did a successful.
Councillor Mills was on the committee.
No, it wasn't. I attended the Women's Institute.
You did what? You were there at the committee meeting with your wife. So you were actually on the committee. I've got the minutes.
Mm.
So you would know what the meeting...
I didn't attend all the meetings. So, yeah. We'll wait and see what materialises. I will let it lay in abeyance for a while.
Well, we've got to close it one way or the other. We can't certainly leave it in abeyance. No, you're moving things on.
I'll apologise to these good people that's in the audience for putting up with me, because I haven't finished yet. We'll move on from that one.
Well, you've raised subjects now that we've either got to close it.
I asked a question and I haven't had a successful answer.
But we can't. The parish council cannot give you an answer because there's nothing to do with the parish council.
Okay. Well,
You understand? There's nothing to do with the parish council.
okay, yeah.
You accept that?
Yeah.
Fine.
We'll move on.
So right.
One
It's the
last
parish.
thing.
So one second. So the councillors, this is closed from the parish council. It's nothing to do with the parish council. Do you all accept that? And is there issues?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. Thank you. Right.
Yeah,
Councillor?
last item, and then I'll shut up, hopefully. Thorneled sign, you know, we put the new sign up at Thorneled for the moor.
Yeah.
It could do with a bit of a trim up around. You know,
From the vegetation?
Yeah, it needs to be kept looking tidy, and because people say, well, what a lovely sign. People in Parkham, they're envious, and Putford, you know, let's keep it that way.
Right. We did.
A parishioner at Thornhill Head has volunteered to do that, so I need to go back to her. I've not been able to get hold of her.
I dare say, what's it called?
Fritz?
West and
Fritz?
Got Mark West, you know, where he's got the defibrillator on his entrance. I'm sure he would run up with his strummer.
Yeah, no, a lady's volunteered to do it.
Sorry, the clerk is saying that someone's
Yeah.
offered. Sorry, I missed all that.
It's offered, I've just not been able to get hold of her, so
All
I
right,
assume,
all right,
yeah, so
yeah.
she's very happy to do that.
That's
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We may have to lay a couple of slabs at some time in front of the thing. That would really finish it off. But that's for future. And sorry I've gone on so long and bored him to death.
Oh, no, that's every councillor's every right to raise every point. We brought up something there that was nothing to do with parish council. Right. Is that all right, Joe? You can.
Yes, I'll sit down order,
And if they want recompense or whatever, right. Members, my members report. Yes. Sometimes there's allocation of. I've been snow warden for the last umpteen years, whatever. We have to get moving on the snow warden. Does anyone wish to take up the snow warden's job? Or I'm willing to carry on, but I'd be willing to give it up too.
I think there's probably a black shovel.
Do you want me to shovel?
If you're willing, George, thank you very much.
Right.
Never live up to your...
Right. So, I need a decision. We're allowed 5 ton of free salt a year. I've got to put an order in, but we've used up all the small bags. When the lime spreader comes around, we have it in ton bags. It goes over there. There was salt bags of 50k, 25k bags, whatever it was, which was Andrew Hewitt used to organise, kept down at West End Engineers Ring, but that's all gone now. So, do we want to put all the salt keep the road clear to get people in and out and around, welfare for the animals, what I do, whatever? Or do you wish to have some of it in bags, but then we've got to find out who's going to look after these bags and put them away? Because I want to get an order put in now. I'm allowed to now, 1st of July, put an order in. So I wish to know what the councillors wish to do, what they want to do, but who is going to store if they want small bags. It is very toxic. Well, it rusts everything. You know, it'll go through concrete floors in the end. But anyway, so what do you wish me to do?
What proposal do you have, George?
I personally would rather have ton bags, put it in the spreader. You can come up and down through the village, and it goes on the footpaths right up and down through the village. I'm prepared to have an extra run to keep the footpaths going. But you're not going to have anything for the school, you're not going to have anything for the church and the chapels and all the rest of it around. He just does the route to keep the village clear for everybody going out and emergency people coming in and for animal feed and welfare and milk tankers going out. So I would prefer in ton bags. The Fishleys are prepared to store it. They've got a special area they store it. He does a spread in and it is an easy way to go. So you tell me what you want.
Yeah, it sounds like a carry on like that, I think, George. But I think, but I take it then that on top of that, the bins that are scattered around the parish.
They are done free. That's extra.
They're done by Devon.
They're done by Devon, done free. And Richard kindly went around 2-3 times last year, and we filled them up.
And I guess they're there for people to use.
They're there. Yep.
I mean, because there isn't one. I was just thinking, there's not one down the bottom end of the village, is there?
What do you call the bottom end?
Well, that.
Charber Lake?
No, down by school. There isn't any bins down that way, is there?
No. No.
I mean, I don't know if they'll put another.
I will try and get one there.
Because then, if it's down there, then school could use it then, couldn't it?
Yes. And the village all can use it around there as well. Because
I would have thought.
I would have thought so. So do you still want one try and put there then, or what?
Well, I don't know. It's what people think. Whether having one down that end of the village would be useful. Because one outside here
Just as if we have one down the bottom.
I will see what I can do with Dublin County Council, put a yellow bin somewhere that doesn't get driven over and smashed in bits and all the rest of it around here.
Like another one.
Like one up till they get.
I mean, that's something we could.
That is a system, right? Okay, so yeah, I'll go on and organise that then and go on from there.
Do we need, because it sounds slightly different, is it this slightly different from what was before, George, or are you proposing?
We had a stock of 25k bags.
Yeah.
And then they were moved out when it needed to move out. It happened to be the winter time when it was hard and frosty, and Andrew dotted them around. But when he dotted them outside the village, he dotted them one day and it disappeared the next day. So
I see the ones up Thornhead is still there.
really,
By the chapel, there's two
two there.
beside the road, and them still there.
Oh well,
So,
there you are. They all disappeared. No.
Obviously, a more honest lot.
No, there. Yes. Yeah.
All I was wondering was if there's a difference and there is a perceived deficit in sort of public service, or what I can't think of a better word. Is it something that we just need to explain to folk, you know, that this is the way it is and this is how it's got to work?
We'll put it on the minutes that we're using bulk bags to keep the village open rather than individual bags. But the soap bins are around that people can go and help themselves if they wish, and put it in a bag themselves. So if they want to look after themselves, that's brilliant. Someone else ain't got to.
I would suggest if they isn't happy with that, they go and
Buy them.
purchase
Yeah.
a couple bags themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, I
for
think
the-
it's
We
this,
won't minute that, Mr. Mills.
I think it's just making sure that people know
Yeah, exactly.
what
Yeah.
the score is, that's all.
That's fine. Yeah. Right. Snow warden. There was someone else. Brain is not working. So, Jane.
Yeah, and I'll try to be brief. I've got a couple of things. First thing I hope is quite easy. The seats by the church parish council, I believe, paid for at least one of those, didn't we? They could do with a bit of TLC, and all I was going to say was that I mean, I don't mind going down there with a spot of paint, but I didn't know whether anyone else wanted to help me. But they do need a bit of tarting up, and obviously you've got to be a bit cautious about doing it.
Yeah. Richard Dorset used to do that, but he's gone now. So
Richard
yeah,
is gone.
fine. If you,
So-
Jane, if you wish to take control of it, that'll be wonderful.
Okay, I'll happily do that. And I'm just breaking my pencil. The second thing is, and you might think, what am I telling you this for? But it's something that came up in a meeting yesterday, and it's does everybody understand how the S106 works? I mean, I think I worked one and put it together ably, vetted and supported by the then parish council, Trevor and people like that. The only other person that has done one is our ex-parish clerk, Pat Bloss. I mean, his, I suspect, was perhaps a bit more difficult. Mine was easy. It was a big amount, a huge amount of money, and everybody wanted the same thing. But there is the potential for S106 money. So could you just give me 2 minutes so that I can explain how S106 works?
Sorry, can I just jump in there?
Yeah.
Are you talking about money you're going to receive as S106, or are you applying to get S106?
No. How S106 agreement is created, how it's facilitated, how it's managed.
From the developer, from the builders or whatever. From start, you talking about from start to finish.
I'm talking about start to finish.
Okay, that's
so
fine.
that
That's
people
fine.
understand
As long as I know.
how
Yep.
it works, because we have a critical role in this, and if there is to be an S106, and I'll just leave it at that, we are going to have to be the driving force, and we are going to need to get our skates on, and otherwise there is the potential for lost opportunity. An S106 agreement is created from, to all intents and purposes, building construction on a greenfield site. It's almost like the penalty that the developer has to pay for community benefit, and it has to be for very specific projects. It can't be used for enhancement. It has to be used for specific stated projects from start to finish. And there are timescales on this, and those timescales may have changed, I hasten to say, since I was involved with Village Hall. But the parties that would be involved in it would be the developer, Torridge District Council at all times, and Buckland Brewer Parish Council, and no one else.
Sorry,
Okay.
you're talking about development within the village,
I'm talking about...
in Buckland Brewer Parish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
not Bideford, no,
No,
Buckland Brewer Parish. Yep, thank you.
So you've got three
Yep.
parties in an
Yep.
S106
Yep.
agreement, and two of those parties are Torridge District Council, who agree that any sort of purpose for which the 106 monies are to be used for, and they will release the cash at a specific trigger date stated within that S106. Buckland, it is the responsibility of the parish council, if you like, to bid to Torridge District Council if they know that there are S106 monies coming up. They have to state the project and the purpose of, you know, what this S106 money is going to be spent on, and then it's all embedded within this S106 document. There are, how am I doing, Phil? Am I making sense here?
I'm learning.
Oh, right, okay. And there are timescales on all of this. At the end of the day, when the trigger date to release the cash for the S106 monies is reached, Torridge District Council will accept that cash and then release it to Buckland Brewer Parish Council, who will receive the cash, and then the clock starts ticking. Now, when I did ours, it was 3 years. If that money is not spent on the stated purpose and the project is not complete within 3 years, then Torridge District Council says, we want our money back. Tough. And that opportunity is lost. Secondly,
Changed a little bit now.
yeah, they may be, but this is principles. But the other thing is that it may well be that there could be a number of community projects within the village, and it's thought, well, we want to use these 106 monies for that. But my understanding remains that it is the parish council that's got to put the bid in to Torridge District Council.
No, it doesn't.
Is that not the case?
No, it's not. I am in correspondence with Torridge District Council about changing the purpose.
I know that, yeah.
Because at the moment, when the planning, I think, was first done, presumably somebody said, can we have the monies for adult fitness equipment? So the bulk of the money at the moment is earmarked only for adult fitness equipment, and that is all that it can be used for, or part. So there are 2 sets of monies for the Alison Homes development, nothing for the Pierces one. And I have requested a change of use, or whether Torridge will permit a change of use, because if they don't, then the only thing we can bid for the money for is to buy more adult fitness equipment, which we probably don't need. So I'm waiting for Torridge to come back, because the more pressing need, I think, is the children's play equipment, and that's not a massive leap from adult fitness equipment.
But who gets to decide from within Buckland Brewer community? Do we not get to debate this?
No, well, not if it doesn't have to go through the parish council. I mean, it would be better for somebody to bid for it and have the support of parish council. But in theory, organisations can submit an application form. The application form is just on the website, and anybody can access it.
Yeah. So you've got you've got another three-way contract. You say you've got Alison, and you've got TDC, and you've got the independent bidder. The person who's...
But they have to fulfil that criteria as to how they spend that money. So
Yeah.
you can't just come in with a random bid and say, I know it says this, but I want to buy this instead.
Yeah, because that's still a legal document, and presumably there's a time scale driving there.
Yeah. So it does narrow down the number of people that can actually bid for that money, because it depends on the use.
Yeah. Chair, do we as a body then want to be aware of the fact that this is happening, and we ourselves ask the public whether or not we should be putting in a bid for something like that, or are we just happy to let this drift without intervention? What should we do?
No, well, it's down to the parish council what to do, but when these 106 monies are allocated, sometimes specifically developer goes through the parish council. There's 2 or 3 things that have happened in Tamardu, then it's specifically put for children's and the fitness. There was one down the bottom of the village was specifically for the fitness section. How you put your, I presume you approach the developer for 106 money as a parish council and say, look, if you're doing 106 money, will you look at this, put it down for this? Other than that, you can ask the councillor there how one goes about acquiring 106 money and how you get involved with it.
Well, I think Jill's doing, or Clark's doing a good job. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't overrule what Clark's doing. I speak to Adrian Avery, who is doing the 106s for Alison Homes here at the moment. I think is Adrian Avery. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Neil explained the situation. Just to say, 106 money is quite dangerous, really, because Bideford got into a bit of a knickers in a twist when they did the Atlantic Village up there, and they had highways money could be spent locally. And then they built little triangles, and one was just outside Blake's garage, and they built a sort of sections to keep the people out, and everybody drove over it and smashed their cars to pieces. So they rushed into it and rushed through it without thinking about it. So. And they lowered them again, by the way, up there. You can still see the triangle in the road.
Yeah,
so,
I've seen it there. Yeah.
But most big 106s goes to education and highways improvements, and a bit goes to health. But
that's specified in the 106 when you get the planning anyways, in education funds and hospital funds and other things. That's specified. But Councillor Lowe is talking about. You're talking about.
What I'm saying is, how do we get our foot in the door, and do we want to get our foot in the door, or are we just going to leave somebody else to?
Well, you have got a foot in the door, really. You have got a foot in the door, because Torridge Council are coming back through May, and then as soon as I know the situation, obviously I'll update the council to let you know what is permissible, and then it will be a case of contacting local organisations, you know, to make them aware of this is available, and you know, letting them have the application form. But, I mean, in all likelihood, it's only going to be one parish organisation that is going to be able to bid if they permit that, and that will be the Plainfield Association.
That'll be the what?
Unless
Plainfield Association.
Itself wants to take on a project, is all I'm saying. I'm not saying we do, but all I'm saying is that, I mean, you know, there's an argument that the playing field may have, it's a leasehold piece of ground. A lot of kids use the amenities field. I mean, I'm not saying it's something we should do, I'm just saying it's possible that you might want to transfer your children's play area down near the community hall, and that's all I'm saying is that do we just accept the status quo, or do we start looking forward and seeing what is possible and what may happen?
Well, do you want to see whether it's permissible? And then
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I think
What is
I'm asking it,
106 money is how does the parish council or how does one get involved trying to allocate it for the benefits of the community in Buckland Brewer?
I mean, Richard's the chair of the Plainfield Association anyway, isn't he? So he'll have a view from both sides, won't he? So.
Yes, but if you
should we not be asking the public? We are
That's
accountable to the public. Should we not be asking?
go on.
I'm a little bit confused about, are we talking about the specific money that's coming from Alison Homes at the moment that is allocated for adult fitness?
But the one for which Joe is trying to get a more generic fitness purpose or understanding.
Yeah, but this is this lump of money we're talking about. We're not talking about any other money from anywhere else, nothing else. So it's just this lump of money which is already been allocated, as I understand it.
Well, it hasn't.
Well, as far as I understand, it's been allocated from the meeting we had with Alison Homes, but that money has been allocated for adult fitness.
Yeah.
And the decision has been made somewhere around the line that do we really want all that, or would it be better to spend it on children's equipment?
Yeah.
Which seems to go down quite well. So I'm not quite sure where you're going.
What I'm saying is it, you know, is it cast in tablets of stone that we should leave, just say, the Playing Field Association to bid for this money and complete their own project, or should Parish Council be saying, well, perhaps there's a wider public benefit, and the Parish Council should be bidding for the money for another.
But we've got to, you've got to have a project to be able to present to, haven't you?
Yeah, you have, and I'm asking, do we want to consider?
At the moment, what's allocated in that Alison Holmes has helpfully altered the terms, because as you said, the terms of what money is given has got to be specifically to those terms, that it can be used for adult and junior fitness, or junior whatever, between the two playing fields. But what you're wanting to find out is whether any project which comes up for 106, because that money is allocated, any other future project, that we get involved with the developers and ask them and suggest things for them to put 106 in Buckland Brewer Parish, in the Buckland Brewer Parish at a time. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying, is there only one project in town, or is there something more worthy under the same heading?
Can I just, sorry, keep interrupting, but the reason why it came up through an Alison Holmes meeting a little while ago, probably the first meeting, I think, and the timing coincided with the playing field having looked at their own playing field equipment, and they've subsequently had a professional independent inspection of the playing field equipment, and it is on its last legs. So it's at a point where it's, you know, you can't really do an awful lot as far as repairing it. You know, you can paint it again, but it will need to be replaced. So that was where I got involved to contact Torridge Council, and Alison Holmes has already sent in a letter of support saying they are very happy for the purpose to be changed. So it's just with Torridge Council to agree to that change of use.
So it's pretty far down the line.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that was why it came
but
about.
But in future, you know, any future development, whatever it is, it can be talked about then. But any development's gone on, I think all the 106 money has been allocated, as far as I know.
That's all there is.
Yes. There isn't any more? No. They have allocated so much money for Do Order Hill, you know, that's been allocated. So
That's a separate.
So we can look at it when, if any future development, 106 money's come up again, we can discuss it again then.
It's just that I wasn't aware how far down the line that was.
Yeah.
I don't know whether other councillors and the members of the public knew that either. That's the reason that I'm.
It only came up when the meeting with Alison Holmes, so
So
okay.
we're all up to speed then. Thank you for that. And just lastly, the matter of a part 2 meeting, the industrial developments. I just wondered why, who'd been consulted, who thought that we should go to part 2 for the industrial developments meeting, Chair.
When is, I'm lost track here.
No, I'm just saying it's mooted, and I think it's in some correspondence I've seen here somewhere. It is just a question. Yes, it's here. Industrial Unit Stephen Cherry Project Update, July 12th meeting, Part 2 meeting, July or later.
The only person I know who could ask for Part 2 is, so it would be Steve Sherry to keep it, if it doesn't want to be open public to at the time. So that's the only person. I don't know what the case is.
It's just because there's commercially sensitive information in there. So if you talk about any of the historic information, there is commercially sensitive information in it.
But then who's made that decision, commercially sensitive?
Well, it is commercially sensitive.
No, who made the decision?
Did Steve Sherry ask for Part 2 or not?
No, Steve Sherry's just doing a presentation of the project.
Yeah.
The Part 2 meeting would just be the parish councillors to discuss the industrial units projects in its entirety.
Well, sorry.
This has been a public project for 10 years. I can't understand why we suddenly want to take it away from the public.
Well, any decisions would come back to the public. The decisions would be declared, but you're going to be very limited as to what you can discuss in
Why?
a parish council meeting otherwise.
Why?
Because you can't mention any commercials.
We wouldn't be. Sorry. When is this part 2? Is it?
Scheduled yet?
It hasn't been scheduled, right?
No.
No. So I don't understand unless specific businesses are named. As Councillor Lowe has said, that it's been been a public thing for the last 10 years. Why can't we? Why has it to be into a part 2? Because I don't understand that, because there's no businesses being owned. It's just a general thing of moving it on and to the stage of who's going to bid for it and how do we put it out. It's just, generally what is going to happen, entrances, what is feasible. So I don't quite understand why it's going to be if the councillors want it in open, why it has been in the part 2.
Well, you can have an open meeting, but you're going to be very, very restrained as to what you can actually talk about the project. If people want to have an open discussion with background information as well, if you don't want any of that.
Sorry, yeah.
I don't understand.
I've had open meetings and discussions on development sites in the public. Once it's been talked about, it was put in the 2031 plan and it's been discussed openly. There's been no reserve matters too. I don't quite understand, and I would strongly advise that we have it out in an open meeting so everybody knows what it is and they can voice their opinions.
I would second that.
If you want to have an open meeting, that's absolutely fine.
Fine.
But you're going to have to, just make sure you're not mentioning any companies and
we won't, because we haven't got any
bids and anything like that.
We won't, because we haven't got any companies yet.
No, I thought the meeting was about talking about the end-to-end project right from the start. If you're not going to go back,
It may be end-to-end, but as long as there's no company.
It's every time I turn this on.
Sure, that's right, Joe. Fine. So I want to vote on, do we keep it open or do we keep part 2? Those in favour of keeping it open?
I really don't understand.
Nor do I. So I'm going to abstain.
Put it, all right, if it's part 2, no member of the public, and that thing is switched off and we discuss it amongst ourselves and nobody else. That's part 2.
I think like Phil, we're just a little bit, we're still learning and we're trying to understand when would you have a
Sorry, no. There is nobody purchasing it, no figures of costs or no whatever on it. It is an open thing. Now, if you're talking about you want all developments put in part 2, nobody knows anything about it except the councillors, which will lay yourself open to a lot of accusations, or you keep everything open above board until you start talking about pound, shillings and pence and signing agreements. This is not signing an agreement. This is coming up with what it's going to cost, roughly, how we go about it, what the authorities for council are going to allow. I would suggest, and I'm proposing, that goes in the open meeting at all time.
What is the purpose of this meeting?
Well, Steve Sherry's coming up. I thought you said Steve Sherry's coming up.
He's doing a presentation on the project.
Yeah. But we don't know, I haven't got anything else. What you've got on the presentation of the project is going to be in part 2.
No, it wouldn't be. No, his is in the open meeting.
Fine. Then there's nothing to discuss in part 2 then.
Well, the council hasn't made a decision yet. There isn't a council decision yet.
I guess it's because there's several new councillors who haven't been going along with this kind of proposal, which has been going on for quite a while. And like you say, it is in the local plan.
It is in the local plan?
Yeah, it's in the local plan. But as
Yes, but why put that in private?
I'm not a problem with that.
If I may, Chair, as far as I'm aware of information I've received, no decision has been made by the parish council from 2013 on to actually go ahead with this development.
Well, that'll be put to the vote, and if you want to put it out to the general public after that, whether what they think about it, but that'll be put to it's parish council ground. Anybody can put a planning application on any ground, but it's parish council ground. Then we, as the majority of the parish councillors, can vote yes or no to put it in for a planning application after everything is looked at, what's feasible, what is not. And as I understand it, Steve Sherry's coming up with a feasible plan to present what we're paying for him to do it, to be able to present to Torridge planning of the industrial sites at the playing field down there.
So may I suggest the agenda would be a presentation by Mr. Sherry with then a vote as to whether to go ahead with this project or not.
Yeah, that's but way that the clerk was putting it on the minutes, that had to be in number.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
That's fine. So we can't discuss. We don't know what we're talking about at the moment. So all what we're doing, asking, and Councillor Lowe was asking, and I'm saying is, everything that's got to be talked about should be out in the open, so everybody can see what we're talking about. So there's no part two. Everything is discussed out in the open at this meeting. So it's not a part two meeting. It is a fully open meeting. That's what I'm proposing. So I will go for another vote now, if you understand. I am proposing anything discussed about the industrial site. Sorry, Councillor.
All I'm saying is there is good grounds for part two at district level because there is confidential issues that come up. And I wonder if it would be helpful if you approach Torridge solicitor to ask them to send out why there's part two in meetings, because there is confidential issues that do come up occasionally that need to be aired. Your decisions need to be made in public, but sometimes there is, let's pretend you had an industrial development you wanted to rent out some units to, and you had 3 prospective renters. You want to look at their due process and make sure they're illegal. They've got to come and put before you, and they're going to put all their details in public, but you've got to make a decision. All I'm saying is use your Torridge solicitor and they'll explain to you why part two comes into being.
Fine. That's after, I quite agree with everything you said, Phil. Those after you've got 3 people potentially wanting to buy it and all the rest of it, that's confidential. I'm talking about the original step of getting to that situation is what we want to discuss, whether the parish council or...
Chair, I just separated the Steve Sherry issue from...
Oh yeah, no. I may have clouded the situation, but Steve Sherry is saying he's gone and he's got what he's actually able to do, because I'm not sure whether we're having a meeting, a pre-app meeting or whatever, discuss whether Torridge District Council is going to throw it out the window, which we chuck money at good after bad, or they will say, yes, it's acceptable, you put something in and we will look at it.
I would suggest, George, that we have employed Steve as our agent.
That's right.
To deal with this situation, and that's what he's doing. He's having to do a percolation test and the dormouse thing.
Yeah.
It all rolls on.
Yeah.
So,
but the meeting...
the whole community decided in, what was it,
2013.
We wanted this as an industrial site.
Yes.
And everybody was in agreement. And that's still rolling on from there.
When you say everybody was in agreement.
Sorry?
When everybody was in agreement, was that the whole village?
Yes.
Yeah, the whole parish.
The whole parish.
Done a questionnaire.
They've done a questionnaire.
How many people were at the consultation?
Sorry?
How many people were at the
Whoever questionnaire circulate the whole parish.
It was a questionnaire.
Full questionnaire. And that report is still, the numbers is on there, is still available now. I've got bits of it. Yeah.
I haven't seen that. So.
Well, no, yeah, but that's still.
The fact is, no decision has been made by the parish council to go ahead with this development. There is no record of that.
We've not applied for planning application. We haven't got that far.
No decision go ahead with this industrial unit programme.
Yes, there has. Yes, there has. Last parish council instructed Steve Sherry to go and look at it.
But who did,
That's the parish council.
was there a vote?
Yes, there was a vote.
That wasn't the decision that was taken by the parish council.
It was.
No, the project was about doing the testing with a view to submitting a planning application.
Yes.
But
Which?
the decision to actually do the units themselves, it was looking at feasibility basically. It's a feasibility study. That is what.
That's right. That's what's got to come back before we can make a vote on presenting it.
The settlement plan just has the industrial units were submitted, but it's left very open. It's subject to requirements.
Yes, but until the parish council get all the answers from Steve Sherry, what's viable, what's feasible or not, we cannot then go to a vote and say, do you wish us to proceed and put this forward, yes or no?
Yeah, exactly.
That's yes.
That vote
So
hasn't happened.
that vote, if you're referring to that vote has not happened. But the vote to go on and look into the situation per 2013 to 2013 to 2031 plan for Buckland Brewer Parish, we are implementing that instruction to look at it and see what is Torres District Council allow, the viability of it, and the feasibility of it, and what's required. When we got those answers, then we shall come back to the parish council, not me, it will be come back to the parish council for the parish council to decide, make a vote, whether they present it to the planning officer in a tied bundle by Steve Sherry, who we instructed to go so far and no further.
That's the bit that, like I say, hasn't.
Yes, but that I don't want.
We needed to get the bit done by Steve.
Yeah, everything's got to be done by Steve. But that discussion on that, I'm proposing we do not put that in number 2, because there is no money, no people or businesses who are proposing they will want to put up industrial.
No sensitive information.
There is no sensitive information, so I want this out in the open, everybody can look at it, then we as an elected parish council can make a vote on it, yes or no.
That's
Fair?
Then we can make that decision whether
Fair.
whether
Do
we
I?
go to
Yes.
the next step.
Fine. Do I need a vote on this, Joe? That's fine. Okay? So there is no part 2.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Unless we do what Phil said.
Well, when it gets that far, that'll be the next stage again.
Absolutely. That's
Yes,
different.
that's different. That's different. That's different.
Thank you.
Have you finished?
I am.
Sure.
I said my bit about potholes already.
You said you were hen?
Yeah, I've had a few people sort of mentioning to me about the scope of the tarmac, the adult fitness thing. Has that been rectified? There's been potholes and a hole and it's all uneven.
Whoa, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about.
Right, there's a piece of tarmac down at the adult fitness, down at the village hall.
Down the village hall, right?
That was laid recently, and there's pothole in it, and it's uneven, and it's
So is that on whose ground is it on? Is it on public or is it on
no, it's on the immediate.
It's on the immediate, it's George.
parish council ground?
Yeah,
So what are you,
I think it was laid, wasn't it, recently?
no idea. Yes?
Are you aware that there's?
You mean it was thrown down?
Sorry?
You mean it was thrown down?
I wouldn't have a clue. I don't know what. Right, so what are you suggesting then?
I'm not. I'm asking. My question is because I think Councillor Mills with Councillor Hooper went down there and did it. I didn't know if you'd been back and rectified the holes.
I think the chairman was going to have a look. I talked to him about it.
So when he comes back?
Yeah, that's fine.
Fine.
It's just, I've just had a big laugh.
It looks like a badger dug under the gate.
He probably did.
Yeah.
Joe, can you highlight that?
It's on the Badger Fitness Suite, isn't it?
Yeah. Tarmac. Ken, any more?
No, fine.
Nothing. Right. Planning applications. We got an application for Tilligate Farm, Buckland Brewer, for an extension to existing shed to provide a covered store. I've got it here if anybody.
I've got it here.
You got it there?
I've got a copy. I can share it if people want.
Yeah.
No problem.
No.
It's every farm. It's all to do with dirty water getting into streams and then having to cover their feed
Feed and everything else. Yeah.
So the river authority will be chasing them.
So we've got to do something.
So they got to do it.
Yeah. So those in favour of supporting it?
Yeah.
Unanimous? Accounts. Joe.
We can't sign it.
Yeah, there's not a lot. What we've got in our bank account at the end of April is what's shown on the screen there, but effectively it's
26,535 in the main account, 15,000 in the Thornhill Head account, and 27,000 in the savings portion of it, some of which is Thornhill Head savings as well. So payments that are outstanding, these are the invoices that I was talking about. So we've got sort of the usual really, electricity bill, for the amenity field for the ambulance, air ambulance, grass cutting, the water supply, the new sign for the stock gate, gardening and payroll. So those are outstanding. The receipts that we've got in are just the field, there's some field rents of 275 and the first instalment of the precept. And then that compensation payment that I mentioned earlier. So that's it, so you know.
So how much actually do we owe outstanding that we can't pay just yet? The total?
Just those items listed
What
there.
did that come to?
About £1,300 all told, and 1,000 of that is payroll.
Can you move it down? You ever
Sorry, yeah.
work on that thing? Electricity. So electricity could be cut off then. Grass cutting. Well, that's some young chap. He needs his money there.
Electricity actually goes out direct debit. Sorry, I should say.
That's direct debit, is it? Is any of that, any other of that in direct debit?
No, just electricity.
Right. There's no NIC or VA or stuff on the payroll or nothing?
HMRC, yeah.
Is that direct debit?
No, nothing else is direct debit.
So they're going to, and how long has that been outstanding?
Well, HMRC, I'm waiting for them to send me the payment book. They haven't sent me the payment book for this year yet.
Oh, right.
So I've chased that, so that is still sitting with them. So I haven't got any means of paying them anyway.
No, right, okay.
So
we really need to get on with, yes, we
Yeah.
do. And get that grass cutting payroll, yeah. Right. Have we had any, that £2,000 extra that's going to come from the Mars, has that been come through, or would that be coming through? Has that been signed up?
I've gone back to the company to confirm that the parish council has agreed to that, and I've asked them to confirm when that payment is going to be made, because there's a pro rata payment for this year, because I think the payment is December to December.
Yeah.
So we're due a portion of that for this year, and then obviously the full amount for next.
What, a proportion of the extra money?
Of the extra 2,000, yeah.
So we'll be getting that
Sometime soon.
before the annual December one, or whenever they pay it in?
Yeah. I've just asked for confirmation of when that payment's going to be made.
That's right. So all the legal documentation or agreement has been signed and dealt with, so there's should be no reason why they're withholding any money then?
No. The confirmation has gone back to the requester, but I know he was on holiday until last Monday, so it's with him now.
Fine. Any outstanding monies that you know of to out on Thornley Moor for the graziers.
No,
Is that-
got no,
That's
no
all
other,
square.
no other invoices other than those
That's
that are
also, it's
mentioned.
not in tied up any of
No,
this.
if it's not listed there, I've not got it.
Right. Have you had any, we were going to ask Andrew Haywood to come and do a presentation
Yeah.
on,
I was just waiting to find out when we're going to meet for the next meeting. I've gone back to him and said it's likely to be week commencing 26th.
so when is the next meeting we've got then?
I think we need to move it back a week to the 29th.
So our next meeting is the 29th, and are you suggesting that Andrew Haywood comes then, or the normal monthly meeting?
They can come to that meeting because it will just be a normal agenda. It will have the year-end sign-off.
So if he can't come, then
he can come to that one.
That one or the next one, which is only 10 days after that anyway.
Yeah, well, Stephen Sherry is it the one after that, so you probably do want to have
Fine.
some of these things staggered.
Fine. Yeah, fine. Yeah.
So are you saying that we meet on the 29th?
Thursday the 29th, yeah.
Instead of Thursday?
Instead of next week, it will be 2 weeks' time.
Sorry, what day is it? Wednesday or Thursday, the 29th?
Thursday the 29th.
I'm not here. I'd like to remind the council that that Thursday, we set it up basically just to deal with planning.
That's what I thought too.
No other business on these.
29th.
A real emergency.
Well, this is because the year-end sign-off has to be done by the 30th of June. You have to do that as a parish council.
Ah, right. Yes.
So
Well,
that's emergency.
Yeah.
That's an emergency.
and at the moment, the auditor is still going through the internal audit.
Fine.
So,
Yeah.
you know, she may be finished tomorrow, but we won't have enough notice to be able to set up the next meeting if it's not finished now.
Yeah, fine.
So that's the reason for pushing it on a week.
So like I said, I'm probably on the way back from Birmingham that day, so whether I'll be here in time for the meeting. I won't be in time for it to get set up like this, so
Oh.
somebody else will have to do that.
So can you organise that then?
Well, I'll organise, you have to do it.
I wouldn't have a clue where to start.
If you want to show me, Dave, at some stage, I
Oh,
don't
it's
mind
just
if
fun
you
to
trust
show
me
us
with
that,
your
so-
kit.
Oh no, I was talking about this gizmo.
Oh, no,
It's the...
Joe knows about that.
You know all the gizmo. That's what I was worried about.
Well, I can show you. I'll show you.
So that's all right. So you were just referring to the.
I think
Oh,
we managed a few
we can
times.
manage all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You don't need it.
No. So fine. I do apologise to Councillor Pennington. Have you anything you wish to say? I do apologise for not bringing you in earlier. You sat patiently there.
No, I said more than enough. I'm grateful this evening that there was no public speaking raised about Alison Holmes. I've had a few complaints like dust from residents, but you had a meeting yesterday that covered a lot of stuff as well. So I thank Alison Holmes for that yesterday. He spoke well, and I think it was a good meeting ground to be able to talk and put face to face over that. So congratulations to you as a council for that from that point of view. So that's basically all I was saying. But I came up because they've been so busy here in the public speaking. There's been so many concerns with the mud in February and March, and now the dry dust in June. It's unbelievable different times of year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
People who isn't like it. But nothing more to add really. Unless you've got any questions or anything you want to ask me about Norwich.
No, I'm fine. Anybody else want to ask? But thank you for turning up yesterday. It was a very civil meeting, and that's how I think should be done. Actually, I was really impressed with it. Right. Brain ain't working. Sorry. There was someone else, but gone. So anyway, there will be anyone to make any other comments, reports, or whatever. No. Then I declare this meeting closed. Thank you for coming. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Turn the thing off.